Hey guys, DJ here for the first episode of DJ TV, a show where I talk about all things magic related. Since I'm so into Innistrad block right now, let's start with that. Anyone not living under a rock knows that Lingering Souls and Intangible Virtue were banned recently. Now we have the first daily deck list flooding the internet and allowing us to crunch some numbers of the new format. So let's start with that. We have Confabulate 18 piloting a red-white humans deck. At the he 4-0'd with it. There were, I believe, 3 4-0s. Yep. So we're starting with this, and the deck list looks fairly interesting. I question 3 Cloistered Youth. It seems like you always want 4 of that because when it just flips, a turn 2 3/3 is very strong. The 4 Elite Inquisitor seem a little out of place, but the deck is mostly white, so it probably can support that. Um, 3 Midnight Haunting instead of 4 seems a little awkward, but I don't think this deck knows whether it wants to play the token generators or not. So, and out of the sideboard, sideboards don't really matter in block right now because the format's brand new and nobody knows what the heck they're supposed to be trying to beat. Alright, so moving on to Haha You Care. It looks like we have a black-white control deck, which is interesting. Uh, Bloodline Keeper was always a powerhouse in the old format. It'll be slightly better now because less Sever the Bloodlines will be being main decked. Bloodgift Demon is an awesome source of card advantage in the slow grinding control mirror matches. And Fiend Hunter is a nice answer to certain creatures that you can't beat any other way. Although, being black, I question whether Fiend Hunter truly deserves a slot in this deck or not, as a removal spell is probably just better. Warden of the Wall is an interesting choice for the deck. I don't know if it fits in the list or not. I haven't tested it, but it does seem like, well, a good wall. Standard for Sorin. I would never play anything less. I agree with that. Increasing Devotion, unsure on how I feel about that. It's just, I guess, the deck's win condition. It's better than Geist Honored Monk. So that's okay, although it does get steamrolled by Curse of Death's Hold. And speaking of Curse of Death's Hold, I'm not sure why he chose to main deck 4 of them. But it clearly worked out for him as he 4-0'd. So moving on to the last 4-0 list, we have the green-blue self-mill deck. I was never a fan of this deck as it just doesn't ever do what I want it to. Like, you end up with all these Gnaw to the Bones and just things like that, and you're playing Mulch hoping to hit lands, and I mean, your creatures aren't even that great as it is. But that being said, if you ever attack with a Kessig Cage Breakers, the game actually ends. Same thing with a large Splinter Fright or a Ghoul Tree, so this deck has that going for it at least. No idea why Boneyard Worms are in the sideboard, but again, sideboards aren't that important because nobody actually has any idea what they're supposed to beat right now. So on to the 3-1s. We have another human deck. Pretty standard except for the one main deck Blasphemous Act. I guess he just needed a 60th card and wanted to say a catch-all. Seems terrible in an aggressive deck, but to each their own. And we have another humans. This looks like it's going to be the theme of this daily, is red-white humans. I'm a big fan of Thalia. Thalia was amazing against the token decks in the old format, and against any token deck in the new format, it will still be amazing. Loyal Cathar survives combat and a bunch of removal spells, so I'm a big fan of that. And I still not a fan of the 3 Cloistered Youth, but hey, I I can get behind this list. I'm a big fan of this list. All right. Another humans. This one's a little bit slower as he's main decking Geist Honored Monks and Rally the Peasants. Interesting again. More humans. Recurring theme. Okay, here we have a mono black. Yeah, mono black control, or I guess it's mono black zombies. So mono black zombies with splashing white for Vault of the Archangel. Seems interesting. Not sure if I prefer the white splash over the green splash. I think Garruk's a lot better in this deck because it clears out blockers and it makes more threats. I like Garruk better than Sorin, but I'm not a fan of the Liliana main deck because, again, some people are still going to be playing tokens and just using Liliana to kill half of a Midnight Haunting kind of sucks. We have the four-color control deck right here. New format, I'm a big fan of this deck. It does everything that you want your control deck to do. It has some nice card advantage in Garruk, and we also and Bloodline Keeper, so to speak. And we have mana fixing with Dawn Treader Elk, and just ways to kill them in Olivia and Huntmaster. Olivia is going to be very strong in this new format. And another human deck, another control deck, green, red, black. This deck's been popping up a lot since the new format went into effect. I believe it was written about in some article or something. I'm not sure who, but it's been very popular in the two mans and whatnot over the last day or two. And I haven't played with it enough to fully make an assumption on my opinion of it. It looks okay. I'm just not a fan of Liliana's at all in the main deck in this format, but it does look okay on the surface. And finally, we have a deck after my own heart. We have red, green, blue, Rug, Burning Vengeance. This deck's right up my alley, except I'm not a fan of the Snapcaster Mages because everything in your deck already can flashback. And I really do like Daybreak Ranger because if it ever flips, it just controls the board very well against aggressive strategies. One thing I do question is the 4 Forged Devils and 4 Geist Flames. Against aggro, I don't think we want 8 1 damage burn spells. Even against werewolves, Geist Flame's insane, but I still would not want 8 of them against that deck. Alright, so moving on, let's talk about Grand Prix Salt Lake City. GP Salt Lake City is going on this weekend, and it is standard format. Anyone within a 6-hour drive should really go out and do battle for a slot on the Pro Tour. Time for my predictions. I fully expect Blue White Black Esper Control to do very well in this event. It has the tools needed to crush the format and really only has a poor matchup versus zombies. I'm betting on it to win. And finally, let's talk about the MTGO stock market and what my picks are for the coming week. I would buy any and all Innistrad block staples. It's going to be a PTQ format, and it is a Pro Tour format. The card prices will go up on all of the staples, and I'm investing heavily in the format. I would sell Karns and Eleshnorns. They hit their peaks a while ago, and they're now currently trending downwards. And last but not least, I want everyone to know that I will be streaming on Twitch TV this Sunday, April 1st at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My Twitch name is NextLevelMTGCoaching. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has been a DJ TV production. So what did you think of the first episode of DJ TV? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below.